Hi, and welcome back to The Always Believer. I'm your host, Ariana Redondo. Welcome back, Team Flyer. We're back with another Motivational Monday. I'm so thankful to be here with you today. I'm so thankful that you're listening. I'm so thankful for our community and all the positive, real talk you give me. You guys come with me with really, really real situations and decisions and moments, and I love it so much because that's magic for me. Like that, it's pure on magic of communication, of community, of being there for each other, of you releasing and letting go, and like, oh my goodness. So yeah, thank you so much. So today's topic is actually going to be with a movie that didn't expect to impact me so much. I think even though I've only watched it once maybe by now, but I did want to point it out because of the reasons I'm going to say now. So, In the Heights, for a bunch of different reasons. Even though we will do Encanto one day. I know Encanto is on the list, and it's a long time coming. Encanto and Turning Red, I know. I think I need a proper sit down talk with myself, and to make sure that I think that episode might be a Go to Fly episode with Encanto instead of a Motivational Monday. All right, so Uznavi is the main character, and this is a quote that I picked up from him, and it says, A dream isn't some sparkly diamond we get. Sometimes it's rough and not so pretty." I feel ya. So, with this one, I'm going to try to keep it, as always, short and sweet. Like I did, it's going to be half an hour long, as always. I'm like, oh, I know. Let's try to sum things up, especially for people who haven't watched In the Heights. There's no spoilers, by the way, as far as I know. There's really no spoilers. This is going to be a little bit more of lessons learned from the movie, and me sharing my personal stuff, as always. So if you haven't seen the movie, do not worry at all, because I don't like spoilers. And yeah, here we are. So, again, the quote he said is, "A dream isn't some sparkly diamond we get. Sometimes it's rough and not so pretty." So in my previous Motivational Monday, we did talk a lot about like going through the hardships to make sure that you come out through the other side a much higher version of yourself, a better version of yourself, walking in your highest power and things like that. This is somewhat similar, but I'm going to take it down a notch into something a little bit more, I don't want to say realistic by any means, because I feel like every aspect of us and what we do is realistic. I'm just saying a little bit more of here's a few more reminders and ways for you to like shape up your life and how you could see that growth, of course, and like understand. Like the next sentence that I wrote was, not all storms come to disrupt your path. Some come to clear it for you to see the real rainbow. So for me, that's also part of the movie as well. A lot of the storms that I've been hit with recently, not only, my whole life, or the last 2 years, 2 months, kind of whole sort of vibe, definitely the last 2 months, but a whole lot of stuff that has been happening with my spiritual awakening every time more and more and more, the little things that I take the public transportation every day, for example. Sometimes my Metro card doesn't work, even though I take the bus more than the Metro, but it's still the same card here in Barcelona that you can use for both. And I'm like, sometimes it doesn't work. I went late. I had to call my husband. It was a whole thing. Those small little things are little tests of patience, and it's tests from the universe saying, how are you handling the situation? I'm presenting you this situation. And this situation in particular with a Metro ticket, it's obviously nothing to do with a person, more than just like an actual little piece of paper that's not working for you to be like, I need to get to right now the place, blah, blah, blah. It presents itself in my life, and it has been doing so in the past few months, little by little, these kind of ways. So the universe is like, are you learning your lesson? Did you learn your lesson? Is this something that you need to work on more? Like, how are you handling it, And I find that I find that super useful and motivating. Yeah, that time was frustrating, or that time that we have to do A, B, C, D, and you're like, oh my goodness, yes, you probably like soak through those feelings, but sometimes it's really just put in your path so you can see the actual rainbow. Something as simple as that, because maybe that 5 years ago, for example, would have been like would have stressed me out so much that I would have had a bad day because of it, for example. I don't remember it. I had to write down my notes as a reminder, like, oh, like this is a great example of like an everyday thing, you know what I mean? Because that's what it is. Now take that to like a person in your life, whether it's a boss, whether it's a sibling, whether it's your best friend who you thought was your best friend, but then you grew differently. You know what I mean? I've seen plenty of those recently. Not only with me, myself, and I think I've cleared that path out a lot, but a lot of people right now, either Team Fly or community, have been telling me, or like other people, that I'm like, oh, I need to talk to so and so, but like we're on whole different path lines, and like now we have like basically nothing in common. I'm like, oh, that's okay. That's literally universe saying, asking you as a reminder, how do you need this person? Do you really want this person in your life? How is this person helping you grow? What's your feeling towards this? So it's not like storm after storm, like, oh my god, what am I doing? Why is life hitting me so much? A lot of times when we go through these clearance moments, these moments of just taking that moment of doing the hardship and doing the hard work and the shadow work, what comes directly after that at times is simply universe reminders of how you're handling the situation different, and then what are you doing to make it even better. And did you learn this lesson? Like I said in the previous episode, without a doubt, is Miley Cyrus' The Climb. Basically. Very good song. That just makes the most out of these two last recent episodes, apparently. So, through this stormy weather, it's been rough and tumble for a while. I know for a lot of you, it's like, oh my god, I keep getting hit and hit and hit and hit. When it's gonna stop? It's gonna stop when you learn the lesson. It's gonna stop. Scroll back 2 episodes ago when the episode of 6 Things to Prioritize. If you haven't heard it, go back, hear it. If you already listened to it, maybe you need the reminder again. Seriously though, it stops when you allow it to stop. When you allow yourself to take that space and energy time out of what you're doing and be like, hold up, this isn't working. This area of my life isn't working. I keep getting hit with the same rock. What is happening? Stop. Go to therapy, journal it out, write it out, ask yourself those questions, those hard questions, and be like, how can I help myself to, not be in the same little, like, roundabout all the time? You know what I mean? In my case, more examples that I'm reading here through my notes. I've been dealing with limited beliefs a lot. I feel like I've come a long way since we moved back. Since before we moved back, I feel like I've seen a whole change of how to deal with people and set more boundaries, and how those people make me feel, how those situations made me feel, and how I can feel better with myself. I've realized a lot more that since we moved, I've been kinder and warmer to myself. That's a whole thing as well. And then when it comes to, dealing with limited beliefs towards money, in my particular case, towards what I thought love looked like for me, that was huge as well, because I thought that someone giving me love had to look like XYZ because of who the person was, when in reality, it didn't have to look that way. I didn't have to adapt or accept that kind of love. Because at the end of the day, we accept the kind of love that we think we deserve. So those are the limiting beliefs that I've been walking through, that I've been dealing with, that I'm like, okay, once again, hardships and tears on tears, and anger on anger, and then with that, it's like, okay, let me forgive myself. So it's a constant progress. You've been hearing Motivational Mondays, so thank you very much for that. You've been seeing my TikToks, you've been seeing my Instagrams, you guys reach out, etc. You know how the process has been going, of course, in that kind of sense. Letting go of childhood trauma, I think it's also an important one. I feel like that's something that I've always constantly have let go of, but now, it's kind of like, oh, okay, this is that was then, this is now, this is where I am right now. Let me see how I manage those feelings and thoughts and emotions with my therapist and with all the healing tools that I have to make sure that the best version of myself stands out today, to make sure that in the future those relationships and those patterns actually heal in the most appropriate way possible, instead of forcing myself to keep feeling X, Y, Z, to keep feeling that anger, keep feeling small, or keep, you know what I mean? So like working through that, of course, you know, understanding that people are toxic. I insist on this not only as a personal thing with myself and friendships and relationships in general. I think I insist on this a lot when it comes online right now, because like to all of you as a reminder, because I feel like we have come a lot through society. We have just gone through a pandemic. We're still going through it to some extent. So I don't think it's post-pandemic just yet, but point being, you know, I think we've gone through so much as a society, as an earth, as a whole thing, that when you start putting ourselves first and understanding that letting go of toxic relationships is the most important thing we can do, and just literally walking away from that. I've talked about in previous episodes. This is just a really quick one. Of course, I'm skimming through, but as a reminder for all of you, you know, to do that, to literally remind yourselves who is in your life right now, and who are you giving your energy to, where are you, you know, investing your energy, because your energy is sacred. I really feel like that's going to be my next Motivational Monday, because I talk about that a lot, and I keep getting asked a lot about that. Doing the deep shadow work, I've talked about it in the previous episodes. The deep shadow work, please do that. There's a lot more than just journaling. There's a lot more than just releasing. It is digging deep within yourself and seeing the ugly sides of you as well. So once again, storm, lessons for you to see the rainbow at the end. And once again, there's plenty of times that those storms feel like a storm, but they're just a sprinkle that you need to be like, oh, holy crap, that used to be a storm. No, it's a sprinkle. No, it's okay. And now I see the rainbow. Literally, instead of seeing the rainbow in 6 months, I see the rainbow in 2 days, because I'm like, oh, okay, that's it. That's done. You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of shake things off a lot more. Another major life change that I was doing when In the Heights came out, and like why I refer to it in this particular case through the lessons that it taught me, was also because, you know, through the pandemic, I changed careers. I really took a chance on myself. I leaped. I've been writing for years. I'm continue writing. My book will be published so soon. That's a whole different side story. I started a podcast. I'm here with you right now, sitting in front of you. I started a YouTube channel, kind of on the side, so you guys can see me, because you guys wanted to see me this way. So I was like, sure, I'll give it a go. You know, here I am. But point being, you know, I started 3 podcasts, FYI, 3. If you don't have enough with me for the Always Believer, I do Latina podcasts with my lovely, beautiful Nastasia. My link is in bio, as always, my personal profile. And I do King Pomeyers with my husband as well. But yeah, so, you know, I changed careers. I changed continents back and forth in the past 3 years. I was homesick for the first time ever, so I realized that was actually a real feeling within me, that I'm like, oh, for the first time ever, I feel like I belong somewhere. And that's really different for me. I'm a world traveler. I've moved all my life. And now, you know, when I was living in the States, I missed home. My home is Barcelona in this case. And I went through a lot of emotions with that, a lot of feelings with that. And for people who've been traveling, because traveling is one thing, and I love traveling. I'm a huge avid traveler as well. People who've been moving around all their lives. I was trying to get to that point. People who are immigrants. I'm a forever immigrant, and I recognize that. I can be Venezuelan. I would say all you want. I cannot be Venezuelan all you want. I'm a 5%. I'm learning as I go. No, I can be part from the States all you want. I can be part Spanish all you want. But I'm still an immigrant on both sides. I'm still seen as an immigrant. I'm still treated like an immigrant. Hence the movie In the Heights as well. And I'm okay with that. I have to be, because that's a part of who I am. I don't think I identify as one, as like, I'm so-and-so person, because like, I think we're all unique in our own different ways, and I feel like we change so much, and we not only change so much internally, but also we change so much as like tastes and likes and feelings and thoughts, from politics to, you know, favorite foods. You know, for those of you who have the same favorite food you did when you were 5, like chicken nuggets and french fries, good for you, I guess. Or pizza, probably. But overall, you know what I mean? So I like the idea of, like, oh, where are you from? Like, I'm from the world. I am here, there, and a little bit of everywhere. But yeah, like, I did feel homesick for the first time, and I feel like that was something huge awakening in me, because I'm like, oh, I really want to live in this city, and I want to raise my kids here, and after everything I've been through, not only like all the trauma and whatnot, like F that noise, no, just like the moving part of aspect of just like, oh, I think that was big. That was a big one. Yeah. So, things I love about the movie that I definitely want to point out. Once again, there's no spoilers. There's just different, what's called life lessons. And I love that quote so much, because a diamond, you also have to be rough. It's rough. It's you have to go through the roughness of life, like we spoke in the last episode. And I think that's just super important for you to remember. Day in, day out. It's absolutely okay to go through the roughness of life. So, life lessons from In the Heights. Here we go. Take a different path. Once again, without going too much spoilers, I feel like for me, what I can say about Take a Different Path is I didn't graduate high school. I dropped out. I moved out and dropped out at 17, so I didn't graduate. I started working right away. I've been working a million jobs, a million hours, a million ways. I've been teaching most of my life, thankfully. I do love teaching. It's not for me anymore. It hasn't been for me for years. Because this is more my path, this is where I am right now. However, yeah. And then at some point of my 20s, late 20s, I decided, let me finish high school. And I studied a degree. I started a community college degree for marketing and advertising. And decided it's for me, but not for me as well. But I took the leap. I took the chance. Oh my God, I worked 3 jobs to work my way through community college by myself in my late 20s. That's a different path. That's a whole side of story that you guys didn't know probably by now. And if you did, then good for you. And if you did, that's fine. Here you go. Take a different path. There's no rule book on you have to be married at 23, have kids at 26, buy a house at 28, and I don't know, be bored by 30. You can tell I'm totally opposite. If that's your life, then good for you, and if that what makes you happy, good for you. Seriously, I am not here to tell you otherwise. Good for you if that what makes you happy. I have a few friends of friends who literally took that life path, who got pregnant really young because they wanted to. So once again, good for you if that's for you. But point being, life works the way you want it to work. The end. Basically, that's kind of the life path that I was referring to. It's okay to take a different life path and do things your way and keep trying. Literally keep on trying, you know? I feel like that's something super important to remind people about. That it doesn't matter how old you are. My good friend Lorraine, she's also been on my podcast many times. She's a 57-year-old, almost 58-year-old, as she always says, 58 in August. She's a yogi, and she talks about gray hairs, and she talks about how her body looks like and how she feels like, and it's like, she started her career when she was like, well, she was really young, actually, but she went through a lot of hardships as well. Go check out our Go to Fly episode from season 1, Miss Lorraine. And yeah, it doesn't matter how old you are. It's okay to start over no matter the age. So yeah, take a different path. Insert yourself in your dignity, I wrote. And what I mean by that is stand your ground. Don't take any ish. You believe in what you want to believe in. And I'm not saying just because you believe in it, you're right by any means. However, be sure that what you are doing is right for you, no matter what they say. This goes down to a generational thing. This is why I mentioned Encanto, by the way. Stephanie and Beatriz, definitely a shout out to her. Thank you so much for being such a strong presence in my life and for the projects we're doing and creating, of course. I'm so thankful for life. She was also in The Heights and in Encanto, what was I going to say? That's why generational trauma, Encanto. And standing your ground and, you know, being who you are and understanding your voice and listening to your voice and using your voice for good and like speaking your truth. That is the point of the story with that one. Know what home means to you. Home can mean so many different things to so many different people. Home, for those who grew up, you know, with traumatic childhood, which I feel like that's most of us in general. That's not a me thing. This is a we thing. This is a generational thing. This is a spiritual awakening thing. This is a thing like, oh my God, we're looking at the world differently because that's how the world progresses. If I'm feeling this at 34, I cannot imagine, and I'm so excited to see when my kids are 34 and how that change is going to arise and how that change is going to happen, you know, because I'm already feeling it. So regardless of whether you grew up in the happiest or the not so happiest home is still something very important as a ground base in a psychological way. I did study psychology way back in my 20s, not in like not full on degree because I just said I dropped out and I did late 20s, but here in Spain we have a lot of free courses of like university stuff, so I did a lot of psychology back then, and I still read a lot of articles about it. So point being, that sense of foundation of home, whatever that means to you, whether you create one today from scratch and you tell me, Ariana, I never had one, I lived in the streets, I, you know, XYZ, I'm like, you can create one now, today, with you. So understand what home means to you. Whether it's your store, for example, that's the store that you created and that's what home is for you, whether it's your actual home, whether it's the beach, it doesn't matter. I think that's something that's a really nice reminder to keep yourself grounded and to understand that that's your safe space, because we all deserve and need a safe space to call home, whatever that home may look like. And last and definitely not least, by any means, way, shape, or form, is keep going after what you want. Keep going. 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 Oh my goodness gracious, keep going. Please keep going. Please stay here. Please keep going. Within the past month, well, I guess more because my health issues, but major health issues arose a few months ago. Through the pain and hardships of health issues and then life issues. But let's go health issues. The fact that I was not able to walk 3 months ago to where I am today. The fact that I was in so much pain that it literally felt like through hell, and I did some karmic healing. I did like some deep root chakra healing as well. Like not only like traumatologists and all that shit. Like I went down deep, and I can tell that I'm such in a better place now because I put the hard work in, aka our previous episode. The times I had to walk to work, I had to walk to the doctors, and the times I was in the most pain, or the time that I simply went to hang out with my friends and then I was in pain, I'm like, keep going, Ariadna. Take it easy, relax, rest your body, of course, in my personal case, but the point was I had to keep going, and I kept telling myself as a mantra, especially recently, because that's what it is. I mean, then going through my whole spiritual side, keep going, go, understand your boundaries, understand your boundaries, keep going, stay in your light, keep going. Taking it out to a more materialistic world with my business, I've said it previously, this is not the most ideal scenario for me to record, even though the background of this YouTube video is very beautiful now that I must say it, because our window is really nice, and what we see out, like, I love it, because it's there's a lot of trees, and it's very lively, and I love it. I would love to be recording in a studio, you know what I mean? But I'm like, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep recording because even if Binks meows, I have a cat. There's no way around it. The episode with Lorraine, I shot that like 2 years ago, literally. The first one with her. I would say Amazon, because why not? But her post carrier came in the middle of the episode. Her dogs are barking in the middle of the episode. And it's like, that's okay. That's life. That's literally, like, that's where we are right now. You know what I mean? So just start today your new project, whatever it is. Just share your voice. Click post. If you're a content creator, click mother effing post, please. The world needs to hear a message. The world needs to hear a light. Whether you're a musician, whether you're a spiritual healer, whether you're helping people with their marketing, whether you are a teacher, whatever it is that you are doing with your life, and if you're a content creator, please share your voice. Or even if you just want to share your voice about a certain topic, share your voice, because the time is now for this awakening and for you to keep going. Like, please keep going. It does get better. There are rainbows. They exist. You just have to go through the rocky sides first to get that diamond, to get that rainbow. And the rainbow does happen. And once again, that rainbow in certain cases can take 2 years, but then all of a sudden those 2 years are 2 days, because you've learned your lessons and you're like, holy crap, that's so cool. I can see a rainbow all the time now. You know, it's like when y'all ask me, how are you so bubbly all the time? And I'm like, well, I show you the real side. I do show you, Instagram pictures of me crying, or TikTok videos of me like, oh my God, pain, blah, blah, blah. However, through all of that storm and all that rockiness, it's like I am grounded and I'm grateful, and I do that work and I put that work in and I keep going, and I take my time out of my very, very busy work hours. I have a quote unquote 9-to-5 job still, because once again, like I said in the previous episode, I have to get from point A to point B to do point C to finally get things going, because it's not as easy as it looks. I wake up extra early to record episodes for you. I wake up extra early to create content for you. But you know what I mean? This is how it works. This is the hardship. So to see those rainbows. And how do I see those rainbows? Because hey, today I shared my voice. Not only do I make my company bigger, of course, which is freaking amazing, but I shared my voice. I did something for myself. And that's how you see the bubbly side. Could it be creating content? Yes, but it can also be me going to the beach, or me right now gonna go have breakfast with my husband in the beautiful Sagrada Familia, because he just showed me pictures where he is, and we have Sagrada Familia right there, and it's a beautiful sunny day, and I'm like, dude, it's my longest working day. I'm gonna go soak it up in the sun right now. I just realized I'm wearing all black in this particular one. That might change, actually. So I can be... I'm representing Sleepy Hollow, by the way. I'm definitely going to tag them down below for King Paul Myers by General, Sleepy Hollow. Halloween! Oh my goodness. Anyways, seriously though, like, keep going. That's where I was. Keep going. My goodness. So whether you watched the movie or liked it or not, I know it had a lot of commotion. I'm not into that kind of politics right now. Not in this episode, not in this podcast. That's for Latina podcast for a whole different reason. Whether you watched the movie or liked it or not, like I keep writing in my notes or reading from my notes, be sure to take some time to appreciate the rain, understand the storms, know your worth, and most of all, go after your sueñito. Go after what you want. It's so mother effing worth it. It is so mother effing worth it. I repeat, it is so mother effing worth it. That's all I can say. For those watching on YouTube video, I have the hugest smile. So just imagine my smile for those who listen to the podcast. So, question for the podcast episode today. I scroll up. Ooh, this is a good one. How can you turn vulnerabilities into strengths? How do you do it? That's a big question. Let me know down below, my Instagram comments and my TikTok comments and whatever the heck you want comments. I'm here for it. I am here for it. For listening to you, for seeing your growth, for knowing your worth, for believing in you day in, day out, for you to remind you to keep going and watch In the Heights if that's what you want to do as well. At least Encanto, Stephanie Beatriz. Oh my gosh. She's just amazing. All right then. So love you all. Thank you so much for listening once more on this Motivational Monday. Hug tighter, love stronger. As always, if anything resonated, even if it's 5 seconds of this video, of this podcast episode, a part that we can be found literally everywhere: iTunes, YouTube, Google Podcast, YouTube audio and YouTube video, my webpage, wsbeliever.com. If anything resonated, share, like, comment, follow. Please, 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 and thank you. The more you do it, the more I can do it. The more I can do it, the bigger we are, the greater we are, the more powerful we are, and we're going to take over the world because the world needs more of us. Damn effing right. So yeah. Hug tighter, love stronger, of course, and always believe. See you next week. Bye.